I'm in my early 40s now, and the first half of my life was a lot of disaster. I made a ton of mistakes. I was up and down a lot in business and my personal and professional life. And, I coined that phrase, success is a series of well-managed failures, because really, if we want to become more successful, we've got to fail forward and fail faster and fail more often. We've got to make more telephone calls, talk to more people, share more about our products and our services and our opportunities. And the thing is to understand is that success is a series of well-managed failures, which means that failure is just feedback. And, early on in my days when I was out there talking to people and connecting with people in a job or a career, or when I became an entrepreneur, it wasn't easy. I didn't have the skill set. I didn't have the mindset. I didn't have the mental toughness. I didn't have the focus. I didn't have the daily method of operation in terms of habits and daily habits of success that I train people all over the world now. I was one of these guys who was unsuccessful for a number of years. And because I didn't have the tools and the techniques and the proper role models and the structuring in place in my life. So when I say success is a series of well-managed failures, what it means is every day you're going to get hugged and slugged out there. If you're in business or you're in sales or you're at a job where you're out there competing in the marketplace, whether locally or nationally or globally today through the internet, you're going to get hugged and slugged. You're going to be pissed and kicked. You're going to have support and challenge. You're going to have praise and recognition. You're going to have people who love your product or your service or your opportunity, and people who criticize you for your opportunity and service. In North America, there's a website called Yelp.com, YELP.com, and people write reviews on restaurants and hotels and movies and retail stores, and people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want people to write that about me. So people internalize it to their mindset that failure or negative experience or an experience is negative. But really, what are you going to do about it? The thing is that it's not what happens to us in our lives, it's what we choose to do about it. The first part of my life, I grew up with very low self-esteem. I was very insecure as a kid. I barely passed through public school. School was not easy for me academically. And, I was set back in grade 1. I failed grade 1. I was put on the drug called Ritalin when I was a young child for a couple of years for attention development disorder. And the thing was, I was a kid who was a dreamer in school. I was a kid who had goals and dreams. I didn't know what that meant at the time at a young age, but school wasn't my thing, and it is for some people. And so when I went through school, when I got to high school, I had very low self-esteem. I was socially awkward. I wasn't the most popular kid in class. And when I left high school, public high school, I did multiple suicide attempts to end my life because I felt invisible. And I don't know if some of your people listening and watching this ever felt invisible, ever felt that they weren't good enough. But I was one of these kids growing up that I didn't feel good enough, I didn't feel worthy enough, I didn't feel smart enough, I felt socially awkward at times, I didn't fit in. And so, early teens, late teens, I did suicide attempts. And then at about 21, 22 years of age was a big turning point in my life. I was involved in a major car crash that almost ended my life. And that really, sometimes you gotta be shaken up to waking up. And that was a shake up to a wake up experience for me. And then I received some insurance money from an insurance claim. And then what happened was I got involved in a business without doing any research or any due diligence. And 120 business days later, the bank called to demand loans. And I went from there to living on the streets, homeless, living on government welfare, and for a few months. And then I had to hit rock bottom, my rock bottom, to a point where I said, you know what, enough is enough. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. I've got to make these changes. I've got to be proactive. I've got to hustle. And that was a big turning point in my life. So, why do I do it? For myself personally, human potential. I'm always on this search of excellence, to always strive to become a better person, personally, professionally. I want to be better than I was yesterday. Every day I have a self-discipline where I read 10 pages a day of a good book that elevates my life personally and professionally. And I teach this strategy in my events. If you just read 10 pages a day, times 365 days in a calendar year, that's 3,650 pages, which equates to 12 to 15 books a year cover to cover in 1 year. So pick a subject. It could be health and fitness, finance, nutrition, relationships, spirituality, career, business, sales, marketing, negotiation, on and on and on. Pick a subject. Go to the public library, get on the internet, go to a bookstore. If you don't like reading books, then get books that you can download. Watch videos, because success leaves clues. When people understand that success is really quite easy, but doing it consistently over long periods of time can be hard. Does that make sense? Because it gets boring. There's distractions, there's shiny objects. Your family and your friends will challenge you. Our habits drive our behavior. Our habits drive our behavior. And the key thing is how we change our life is how we change the waking hours of our day. From the time that we wake up in the morning until the time that we go to bed at night, what do we do during the waking hours of our day? That we change our lives to the waking hours of our day through what we do, not our lives. Here's the thing. Little things you consistently do make big results in your life, personally and professionally.